everyone. Welcome to another episode of Critical Critique. It has been some time.
Because it's boring.
Yes. We've done some streams, though, recently, I believe. I think
A month ago, if you're going to.
a month ago, we did some streams.
2, 3.
But it was mostly, we covered, I think some gaming shit. But, if you want the reasons, it's mostly just, life, and also the fact that there's just really not been a whole lot to cover, right? There's just not been any really interesting AniTube content that's not fucking 5-hour long videos that we don't want to cover because we'd be stuck there for 12 hours covering the 5-hour long video. So
yeah, that's how it is. It just really is. If we're going meta, it really is that it's shifting away from 10-minute opinions to either streams kind of like what we do, actually.
Yeah.
Or 30 seconds, this is good, this is the video, goodbye. And neither of those things really suits our discussion.
It doesn't work with the format very well. So it's interesting how now we finally have a video that we can cover because I guess I should give some background to this. So on Twitter, I was browsing, as I do, retweeting the lewds, right? And I come across some guy going off about, oh, I hate AniTubers. I hate AniTubers. I hate AniTubers. And it was a clip from a video about Call of the Night. And I watched the clip and I thought, that's a bit spicy. I wonder what's going on here. So one thing's led to another, and now me and Ellie are going to cover this video on Call of the Night. And I've watched up to the point this video covers, I believe, because I've done I think 3 or 4 episodes. I think 3, because I think 3 is when this particular character that is the reason this video kind of got spicy shows up. This is also, I think, a new channel for us to cover, Ellie. I don't think we've covered any of this guy's content before.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it's a new player has entered the ring. I can't even pronounce his name, but whatever. It probably doesn't matter. Hopefully he says his name in the video.
Yeah, I'm also at a loss.
So have you watched Call of the Night, Ellie? Have you been?
I am caught up with the anime, and the mangaka, the manga is the same guy from Dakashi Kashi.
Mm-hmm.
He makes good characters, very striking characters.
Very interesting eye style. Very, very.
Yeah, it catches your eye. So I've been wanting to read the manga as well, but for now the anime suffices. It seems good. I'm not getting the feeling it misses out a lot, like Overlord, where you can feel the cut.
Yeah.
The entire chapters that are missing.
You can feel the rush. You can feel the speed.
Yes.
Be going on. All right. Well, so this video is Call of the Night is stunning. So obviously this guy's gonna like it. So I'm interested to see what he has to say about it. I already know the spoiler, as in what the spicy take is, but I'm interested to see what else he has to say about it. So let's get into it.
I'm less spoiled, but
yeah, let's get into it.
Absolutely stunning roll credits, and is easily one of the best anime airing this season, but looking amazing is about all that it has going for it, outside of the waifu anyways, because goddamn! Being directed by the Monogatari director and animated by Leiden Films, okay, maybe that one doesn't mean much, means that there's never a dull moment in the animation, even when two characters are conversing.
This guy is fucking lightning quick, Jesus.
I
feel like I just got assaulted. How do you feel?
But well, he's going very quick, but he says he's being directed by the Monogatari director, but it isn't. Who was the director? Some Shino.
I could go back and look at his screenshot that he flashed on screen for 5 seconds.
No, it's not. Oh, maybe you could try. But I know it's not the director. No, that's the other guy.
Director and animated.
He doesn't show the director. He just shows the fucking company doing it.
but I do know that
I could have a look though. If you give me like a minute.
do the wiki, do the
I'm gonna do the research.
Director. There is the directors with SSH, I believe the name has.
Where would I find that? Probably AnyChart. I'll just do AnyChart because that's simple.
Shino something.
Which fucking
season? Not Ishino, that's the author.
We're in summer. Oh yeah, there it is. Call of the Night. The staff original creator chief director is this guy
named.
I'll link you the link so you can read the names because I don't want to embarrass myself with my autism. Trying to read this Japanese.
Too bad, Naratsu. I can't click out of this because. All right. So, Tetsuya. Yeah, Tetsuya.
So that's the chief. That's the chief. That is listed as the chief director. The actual director. Oh yeah, he's done some Monogatari stuff.
Yeah, but
I'll link it. I'll link that in the thing.
His name. See, this Tomoyuki is also not the Shaft director, the Monogatari director. This is a director.
Yeah, he's done like some episodes of Monogatari, but he's not like head.
He's not the head tilt, flashing red, black, blue screen, untitled scenes guy. I mean, of course, team efforts and all that, but this kind of feels like the opposite of, crediting one guy for the entire work. This feels like attributing the entire success of Monogatari to everybody that ever touched it.
Yeah.
I was on the team that brought NASA to the moon. What were you? I was the janitor.
yeah.
To be slightly.
I do think it is good to look into like the people that are making the shows and what they've worked on. I think that is like I'll give this guy credit. I think back when Lolly was he come back to us one day, Lolly. You will return from your pilgrimage. Back when Lolly was around, he would talk about how people should probably be like focusing more on who's actually working on the show rather than attributing the credit to just like singular individuals or singular studios, because a lot of the times staff will jump around, do contract work, go from studio to studio, so it's a lot less it's a lot less about it's Madhouse doing this or Shaft doing this or whatever doing this. It's more who is the actual staff and what is it composed of and who's in charge of each individual component.
Yeah, the blurb that comes with the link, or maybe I'll edit it in the video actually if I don't forget. So to Tomoyuki Itamura succeeded Tatsuya Oishi as director of the Monogatari series following Oishi's decision to adapt the Kizuna Monogatari novels. So he came in after, or there was already an established style,
right? Which
means that he can do another guy style pretty well and following the same trend. And this much more works as this comes from the same lineage. He's the same.
So you could say
he's
that
proven himself.
So you could say Call of the Night is him sort of getting in, because from what I understand, his Call of the Night credit is this is his main work. He's the guy in charge now, right? So this is more of here's him growing his wings and getting to show off what he can do himself.
Yeah, all right, this is nitpicky, but this is what this channel and video is about. If he said instead of the guy from who directed the Monogatari series, which isn't true because Oishi was the guy who directed the Monogatari series,
right? Because he did direct some Monogatari, but he wasn't the Monogatari guy, right? So it's like if he had said a director who worked on Monogatari, right? Because that's it's a different connotation.
This very much feels like the elected politician taking credit for what the previous guy started.
And this is a very common AniTube mistake, right? This is very amateur hour type stuff, right?
Well, yeah, the easiest way to fix this and to be accurate and just as quick, we're going in great lengths about it, but this could be all been avoided by he worked on.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
he got his chops from directing.
Yeah,
etc.
Yeah, so there are like 100 ways you could word it, right? Like you could word it in a multitude of different ways. But we're getting.
But this is but this now feels like he's saying, Oishi is the guy who is directing Call of the Night, and he is the Monogatari director, but he isn't the Call of the Night. So confusion all bound. But you have to know the directors and stuff to be confused in the first place.
But anyway, we've gotten into the weeds. Let's get assaulted with like 50 billion more things we have to talk about. So let's get back into it.
By lighting films, okay, maybe that one doesn't mean much, means that there's never a dull moment in the animation. Even when two characters are conversing with one another, the camera is always doing something to keep your attention in order to maintain a high retention on the episode and secure viewer engagement in otherwise dull scenes, which is, why I do shit like this. The color palette.
What?
I don't agree with that. The scene is always doing something. Yeah, I'm ignoring dumb jokes on progress.
I'm gonna try to, but isn't that like a TOS violation? Like what the fuck was that?
I have no idea.
But anyway, onto the actual point. Yeah. I'll let you go first.
I very much disagree that there's always something happening, because there's a lot of establishing shots where the camera is just panning over the cityscape.
Well,
and it's the backgrounds.
And I think that's because those cityscapes and those backgrounds are fucking like, look at what's on screen right now.
It wants to impregnate the feel of the night onto the screen. So it has a lot of establishing shots to show what is the feeling of this night, of this moment, of what color dominates the screen. So it's nothing is happening. It's just you get the vibe. It's you vibe get the visuals, creation.
Yeah. It's less about the animation as in like the fluidity of it, the camera motions, the cut, because even shots.
The previous scene where she was walking, it was just it was the very acceptable, just bobbing a PNG up and down to symbolize movement.
It wasn't complicated,
There was no shoulder swaying, because that costs a lot of time, and I don't expect it either.
Yeah, so if we're going to be talking about the animation, I think like I feel like he kind of confused like the direction in terms of the camera with the animation, because he kind of pivoted there, because he was talking about animation and having things happening on screen to keep you interested, but then he switches into but the camera is doing things to do stuff, and I'm kind of like I don't know, like if you're going to be talking about the animation, like that's separate from the camera direction.
This is a chronic problem of critique in general. Let's put ourselves on a pedestal in the ivory white tower for a second.
We are correct 100% of the time.
Indeed.
Never wrong.
Animation and directing is something different. This is good directing. This is good shot composition. This is trying to get a feel for the city.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there is no good. Is there a good animation scene? There's no real fluid animations, really.
Where's the Sakuga? Yeah, where's the Sakuga?
If we were going to simplify, there is no Sakuga. There's no rotating around the camera. There is quick, clear movements. There is good center. If something happens, it always you can follow it with your eyes because the director knows what he's doing. If something is on the left and you want the attention to stay on the left, the next scene will have the thing that you want to have to focus on is on the left. And then you move to the right, and the next scene, the screen flips to the next scene, and the thing you have to look at is on the right. Basic stuff.
Yeah. So yeah. I feel like that was again rookie. Man, we're only 30 seconds in. It feels like we've because he's going so fucking fast. He's going so fast. It's like goddamn.
And we're slowing down.
Let's continue.
The palette is likewise gorgeous, especially when it consistently alters the colors depending on the scenes, like having it be normal when Nazuna isn't around, purple when she is, and red when she's in vampire mode to indicate danger. And when you combine this with the quirky camera and beautiful art, you end up with an absolutely stunning show that gives off a very chill vibe.
That scene was yellow and she was in there.
His quick cuts are not doing the show any favors. He should be lingering on some of these shots a little longer to let people digest them. Because when he's jumping around like a fucking lunatic, it's actually disorientating. But I can understand that from the perspective of maybe he's trying to avoid copyright issues. Like I can get that. That's fine. But like if that was the excuse reason that he's doing that, that's fine. But if he's doing that as a stylistic choice, then I'm sorry. I don't like it. It makes the video jarring for me to watch because he's not letting scenes kind of, sit there to digest and let people kind of go, oh, wow, that does look really nice. Or, oh, that does look bad, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, there are plenty of good shots of the cityscape where the stars are always very prominent, a very distinct bar, and sometimes almost kind of a lightning shape zigzagging around the sky of stars. And if you want to show, oh look, it looks nice, show more of that sky, show more of the dim, the how do you call it? Even
and it would help
softly lit.
It would help if his
apartment
pacing
complex.
It would help if his pacing wasn't like fucking 500 miles an hour. He needs to
that's YouTube also, so I can't really fault him that much for that.
Yeah, let's keep going because man, we still got like ages to go.
Hey.
Like, goddamn.
An atmosphere and even matches it with what is basically lo-fi hip-hop for the OST. The entire anime is an absolute vibe. But if you're looking for anything more than that and don't want to use your brain to find it, then you're gonna be sorely disappointed. Especially because you'll never have a hot vampire girl to invite you into bed like this. On the character front, Nazuna is your perfect waifu vampire who will suck you dry in a non-lewd way because she's too pure to know what a penis actually looks like. She's an extreme cutie who's
kind of the more of the reverse, right? She's kind of
she's very sexual, but she's not very good with the like actual relationship part.
Yeah,
that's because that's established in like, was that 3 or 2? I can't remember. Like it's the one where she they go on the school roof, and the main character actually picks up on this. Where she doesn't get embarrassed when she's talking about like sexual shit or she's acting sexual, but then when like he's talking about like being friends and calling her Chan and stuff, right? She suddenly gets like real flustered, right? Because it's
also in the first episode because she gets embarrassed when he proclaims that he will fall in love with her. But before that, she's hey, you talk about sex, right? All you school kids love talking about copulation all the time.
Copulation.
You should talk about it more.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's kind of the inverse of what he's talking about, where she's hypersexual, right? But it's the emotional stuff that gets her embarrassed rather than the sexual stuff.
Well, I guess more seductive rather than sexual. If we're going to,
I guess you could use. I mean, that's just getting like pedantic word wise. Like it's just the same difference, really. But anyway,
it's not really shown an interest in sex per se. More of a teasing and
it's more that I think that I think that at least the hypersexual stuff is kind of being used as a shield for the emotional stuff. So she's putting up the wall of, oh, I'm sexy, I'm hypersexual, you know, seductive, vampire, hot, you know, run around in this outfit and whatnot, is like a front for the emotional immaturity, I guess you could put it, and, you know, issues she has around that. But that's me. Again, I'm only like 3 episodes in. I'm just fucking shooting out from the
anime only.
I'm an anime only scrub, right? So I'm shooting from the hip on that, but that's my like assessment of the character, right? Based on what I've seen, is like she's bringing up this wall, right, of sexuality in order to mask the fact that her emotional maturity and ability to actually connect with people is stunted. Like, well, maybe not stunted. I'm not trying to put it as like a necessarial negative, right? It's more like that's the character's trait, right? So it's not like she has a problem necessarily, and perhaps it's something that could be worked out as the series progresses and they do perhaps fall in love or whatever. But it's more of a, okay, this is what I'm seeing right now.
I don't feel, maybe I have the advantage of having seen more episodes. I don't feel that her love for sexuality and sensuality is a front or a barrier to something. I just feel that she is very comfortable with being sensual, but has just
that could be it too.
Just very shy on the other front. And of course, the author could always decide that is a barrier at a later point. That's being an author, but at this point it doesn't feel.
I think both of our interpretations can be correct. I think it's open enough for either one, and I'm fine with that. I don't have a disagreement there.
No.
I think it could just, you know, as you said, just be part of the character. She's just fine with sexy stuff. But
how dare you suggest that there could be two valid things at the same time? There can only be
nuance.
one valid thing.
Oh no, nuance. Whatever will we do? So yeah, let's keep going.
Trying her hardest to be waifu of the season. God, I wish she'd shake her ass in front of me like that. But she's got too much competition in Chisato from Licorice Recoil. Nasuna is a more traditional wife where she's not really standout, but she's got a nice design and is a bit quirky, but that's honestly not enough to satisfy my degenerate needs. But God, I wish she'd suck my blood like that. She does have that regular moe and gap moe in that she can competently look sexy, but at the same time it doesn't really fit her, and that's where the gap moe comes in that she tries to be the sexy and mysterious vampire, but in reality she's just a degenerate dorky gremlin who freaks out over the chance of getting to play with walkie-talkies. She's got the aesthetic down and she's quirky, hot, and fun, but God, I wish she'd... I'm sorry, I'm just really lonely. So while she's not the best girl...
Can you pause real quick? Is this a wider societal...
He's playing... He's trying to be me and he's failing.
Because I'm
angry, Ellie. I'm angry because he's giving us pervs a bad fucking name, this fella. He's... Okay. I mean, this is going to be a bit off topic, right? But, you know, VTubers, right?
Yeah.
We were going to talk about VTubers today, but we decided to do this instead. But we're going to get to talk about VTubers regardless, because one of the things, there is a specific type of VTuber that I actually, it's not that I don't like it, but I find it boring. And it is I am obviously trying to be lewd, even though I'm a normie, right? VTuber. Where they set their entire personality, their entire gimmick around, look at how lewd I am. Oh, I can talk about horsecock, you know, or I can talk about, you know, and I'm pretty sure as I'm saying this, anyone that's watching has probably, like, encountered this and has a VTuber in mind, right? Like, them like, not necessarily, like, some of them, because most ones that I like, you know, Fanana's pretty alright with it because she doesn't like do it all the time, right? It's just very specific moments it comes up, right? This guy's making the mistake that other VTubers make where they do that all the time, right? There's no, like, you have to have that stuff come up at the right moment, right? There's a comedic timing to being lewd like that. And a lot of those VTubers, they fail at that because they've centered their entire personality around it. So they have to be like have the on switch flipped on constantly. So they're constantly going on about hentai and this lewd stuff and sucking dick and cum tastes like this or whatever, right? This guy is doing that, but he's doing that for lusting over waifus, and it's annoying the shit out of me.
I am more. I am a mainstream as all hell VTube watcher, so I only watch the big corporate VTubers. So I watch Finana. Finana is fun.
Yeah, Finana's fine. Yeah.
If sensual VTubers, I guess Carla from Nichisanchi also is kind of fits in that category, kinda.
But you get what I'm saying though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
like there's a difference between like what Finana does and what this guy's doing, right? Like that's what I'm trying to get at here, right? And I'm just using VTubers because that's a relevant example, right? Because there are definitely VTubers that have that kind of lewd, like I'm lewd, I'm lusting after X character. Like Finana will like, you know, when she's pulling gotcha characters, she'll like be going off about how hot they are or whatever, right? So like they'll do that.
Alera has a thing for fights, so if any female character has a good fight, then
she goes off, right?
She clicks on the fight.
But the thing is, though, is she's not going on about that constantly, right? Like every stream, right?
No.
All the time. It's like, you'll have like one or two moments where it might come up, but it's like, no, it's a occurring gag that has to have a comedic timing to it for the right moment to strike, right? And I feel like this guy is kind of failing at that.
Then let me go and point out the flaws of this guy's worldview, where he claims that Nazuna, thin-skinned and small-breasted as she is, cannot be sexy or sexual, and she cannot have an almost childish interest in playing with walkie-talkie and be sensual. If we're going back to the VTubers, Finana can lust all hell over whatever she wants and can be super shy and cute and molding and whatever. I feel this YouTuber here, not on screen but embodying this video, kind of wants Nazuna to be less dimensional than she is. Nazuna can be from very shy in relationships, very comfortable with sex and sensuality, and be a complete dork for toys.
It's almost like she's a human being.
You mean a vampire?
Well, you get what I mean, right? Like it's almost like she is a well-rounded character that actually has personality to her and different facets that make up her, waifu-ness, I guess, right?
Like
I think he is correct in like the Gap Moe thing, right? Like that's correct, but the problem is that he's like, I don't know. It's a really weird way to kind
feels
of
like
go
a prescriptive. He wants he has the database, the anime database.
Yes.
The database animals. We all are database animals. We see twin tails and we think, and it's a tsundere and all that stuff. As black hair, swords. All right, we know what show this is.
Yeah.
Pulling out individual characteristics of the database. This YouTuber sees Nazuna and immediately analyzes her via the database, and because she falls out of line with the database, it's a problem with the character, not the problem with his own analysis of the character.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to go into the whole like being overly lewd thing because to me,
I wanted to go into the character has to be this.
Because I guess like to cap it off so we can move on, like it comes off as really forced, right? It feels like he's forcing it. He's not naturally like just being lewd about it, right? Like he's made the same joke about like wanting to have his fucking blood sucked like 5 times, right? Like he's
in a row, yeah.
Yeah, he's forcing that out when it's you gotta have better timing with that, right? You gotta wait for just the right moment to strike with that kind of thing. You know, and I'm not like a fucking professional at that shit. Like I just be myself, right? I'm not trying to like, you know, go on about lewd shit. It just kind of fucking happens. So I'm not I'm not claiming to be some expert on what that timing is. I'm just saying, like, watching this video, it's giving me cringe, okay? I'm cringing. All right,
we can move on. We both said our things about the things we individually didn't like.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm sorry, I'm just really lonely. So while she's not the best girl this season, she's definitely a contender, and she's just missing that added realism that Chisato has, which mainly stems from Chisato's layered personality that Nazuna currently lacks. But that's something that we may see.
What? What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
This is kind of what I...
This is what you were saying, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. How is... Because I've watched the first episode of Recoil, right? I've watched that, so I know what he's talking about. So it's like... Yeah. So the Recoil girl, right, is bumbly and bubbly and you know, energetic, you know, very, you know, happy-go-lucky, you know, type of girl. I haven't watched any more from the first episode, so I'm behind. But from what I gathered from the first episode, you know, her character seems to be, you know, that kind of, you know, happy-go-lucky, bubbly type, you know, fun character. You know, like it doesn't seem. I would argue that Vampire Girl here is a little bit more complex, to be honest. At least from like what I've seen, because at least there's, as we've discussed already, there's a lot of different factors going into Vampire Girl here. So I'm not sure what he's talking about. Do you know what he's talking about?
Chisato, the red Recoil girl. It's kind of hard because Chisato has her quirks, very believable quirks. Things she likes, things that set her off, things she doesn't want to do, and that's all fine. But Licorice Recoil is a kind of a mystery show. I mean, all anime originals are kind of a mystery because you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I would say that it's like an action spy thriller almost, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good one. A spy thriller, right? Spy thrillers have characters and with motivations, and you want to know the motivations of the characters because that's the you know, reveals the truth about around the entire plot.
Uncovering the conspiracy, you know,
and who is with who at what point for what reason,
who's trustworthy, who's not, the betrayals.
And Chisato is, I mean, for you, also for you, Naretsu, Chisato has secrets and things you don't know about her that change your view on her character. And Call of the Night is a drama.
It's a character drama, yeah. It's a series that goes deep into feelings and not knowing what you are and what you want to be and your insecurities and your typical like high schooler type shit. Yeah.
Well, I think it's, you say a character drama, but I think actually it's more of a proper drama.
Drama. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I can agree with that. Yeah.
So her insecurities to show her true feelings and whatnot, and conflicts and Ko's very confused journey at the moment are completely different things. Chisato's character is more or less complete. She doesn't have any great character flaws. She has secrets that you don't know. So, I don't know. And dramas always have simple characters in that sense, right?
Yeah, it depends, but yeah.
And you know what I mean, right? Drama characters have to have a thing that is wrong or flawed.
There has to be like something that needs to be sorted out, right?
Yeah. And Sherlock Holmes doesn't have anything that needs sorting out to go to the ultimate spy detective thing. It's always, who is the butler really? And there's no character flaw in the butler. It's only a question of...
because that's not the focus of the show, right? Like, the focus of the show is figuring out what's going on, and the characters are kind of like the pieces of the chessboard, being played.
Well,
right?
the characters are very interesting in Licorice Recoil.
Oh yeah, they are. No, yeah, that's not to say that they're not interesting and they don't have their own things, but it's just that's not the focus, right? It's not focusing on that drama. Whereas with Call of the Night, the focus and the drama and the conflict, right, is clearly these characters and their insecurities and their interactions with each other and their personalities and how that ties into, the overall, like, working through these problems, right, is the point, right?
So if you're going to say that Nazuna isn't a real character because she has these drama character flaws to, skirt it or that doesn't work in English. To go quick to the point, Nazuna is a character with big flaws that you can see right from the start, and the series is about those flaws.
Expanding them, yeah. And that's the same with all the characters. It's not just her, it's the male character also has the same issues going on.
the friend, the childhood friend character, etc.
Yeah, we're gonna get to her, don't worry.
I don't get the comparison because it's not, the characters are have completely different purposes. I mean, you can like Chisato more than Nazuna, of course.
Oh yeah, personal preference is fine, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that one is like better written than the other. Like that's something.
No, that's like, really.
You could be attracted to one more than the other. That's like personal preference shit. That's like there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're talking about like a qualitative, this is better written or this is better than this, then you're gonna have to be able to explain what you mean by that.
Hey Naretsu, who's better written, Yotsuba from Yotsuba and To, or Yuko from Kill la Kill?
Oh god, I don't know, man. But
yeah,
anyway,
slice of life and shonen action tournaments.
Shonen action, yeah. Alright, let's go.
In the coming episodes, so at the very least, she's at least a lot like Yamato from One Piece because goddamn are those armpits fuckable. The main character, Ko, is a lot more boring on the surface and, at first glance, is just the bland mouthpiece there for Nazuna's antics, but he's actually the main focus of the show more so than the Gremlin Vampire, and this is shown through his brief internal monologues and the fact that the entire show is about him seeking freedom and finding it in the form of a vampire with pointy titties. Going with emotions didn't work for him, but the anime doesn't attempt to...
Doesn't want freedom, right?
Doesn't he just want to sleep? No,
he wants to belong.
Yeah. He feels out of place. He feels out of place in his current life.
He feels fake.
Yeah, he's having a bit of
he feels fake.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a crisis. He's having a bit of a young life crisis going on.
In this scene where he is confessed on, he knows that the guy she likes is a complete fabrication, and this throws him in a bit of a quandrum because she likes somebody that is a complete fabrication and completely fake.
Yeah, doesn't exist, yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's having an identity crisis. Yeah, he's having an identity crisis. That's probably the best way to put it.
Right. So, yeah, that's a good one. Identity crisis.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he wants to be, right? And so he's exploring that via going out at night and doing things that, he wouldn't normally do, meeting up with this weird vampire lady and going on these antics and doing all this shit because he's trying to figure shit out. And
he found a way. He found a way to be to get away from his fake daytime world, because in the daytime he only constructed a fake identity, and in the daytime is the first time he's been himself. And so, of course, in the future is, can he be himself in the daytime, or is he only forced to be himself in the nighttime? Was he always real? Blah blah blah. Drama, personality.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions around that. Yeah, and again, that's part of the show. That's what the show's about. You know. So yeah, let's keep going.
Make you pity him. It just shows you that being free is his motivation, and he believes that he can achieve that by becoming a vampire. It's misguided and obviously not the answer, but that's why the anime reminds you several times that he's only 14 years old, which unfortunately is not the age of the vampire. In the first episode,
Oh, he's one of those people.
I think
I'm a perv. I'm gonna lust every 5 minutes. I'm gonna talk about fucking this girl's armpits and her perky tits. And oh no, it's a 14-year-old in my anime. Oh no. Oh,
I think if you just see, he wants to grab at every branch, at every straw that he can.
He's just fucking grasping at everything. Nah, I'm sorry. It's like. You fucking, like, you don't have to be into that, right? You can be like, oh yeah, no, he's 14, whatever. But it's like, dude, if you're gonna be, you are in the fucking anime shit, okay? These shows are about teenagers, okay? You're gonna have to fucking deal with it.
A good portion of them are.
Yeah, a good portion of them are, right? You're gonna have to fucking deal with it. Most of the anime characters you probably lust after. Like, do you think this is the kind of guy that's like going to like the wiki pages to make sure that he's not lusting after a fucking,
I think this is the guy that makes every joke from every angle to be funny.
Probably, but no, I'm like that particular joke gives me that vibe where it's like he'll be lewd and crass, and I'm a perv, I'm so big dick, I love her arm, I'll lick the armpit sweat straight out the armpit, you know, or whatever. But then as soon as it fucking hits that one thing, right, he suddenly shrivels into a fucking corn cob because he can't take it, right? And he has
like I said, I think he just takes every single joke from every single angle.
Okay, well, you don't have to repeat yourself, but it's like my point here is more like that's the impression that he's giving from his own jokes, right? Like as soon as you he's the one blowing those whistles, right? He's the one blowing the dog whistles, and if that's incorrect, that's his problem, right? He needs to fucking fix his shit.
I feel that in 5 minutes, he's going to make the reverse joke.
Well, let's find out.
His intentions only serve to set up the premise of the plot, which the show does excellently by stating that him learning to live will make his blood taste better, which in turn satisfies every facet of the anime, from the main character's growth and how he needs to learn to live and not just go with the flow, to Nazuna's need to suck his blood, which...
Can you go to the scene where they were walking on the rooftop, away from a distance? Slightly, yeah?
Excellently, by stating that him learning to...
Look at that animation. Those footsteps don't match the speed they're walking. You want to talk animation?
Based animation, yeah. Just sliding them across the fucking rooftop, yeah.
Tastes better, which in turn satisfies every facet of the anime, from the main character's growth and how he needs to learn to live and not just go with the flow, to Nazuna's need to suck his blood, which, of course, will taste better the more the two experience in every episode, expertly setting up both a potential romantic relationship and every episode after it by telling you up front that it's going to be a slow burn about some loser kid learning how to properly live his life as he experiences new things that he's actually interested in. Unlike you, my precious viewer, who will never have a hot vampire girl to help guide you through life. But that's okay, because neither will I! That said, a romantic relationship between Ko and Nazuna doesn't really benefit the anime. It's set up for him to experience new things and become more human through her help, rather than being set up for the two of them to bang at the end, even if that's... I feel
this is kind of a prescriptive thing, right? The story will be bad if they're going to do this.
Well, it makes it very clear that he's only watched, like, 3 episodes, right? Like me. Like, but he's making qualitative statements about shit that hasn't even fucking happened yet. So
I am a little bit, I mean, I feel there's a difference between I hope they do this or
this.
that.
Yeah, I hope they do this. Yeah, there's a difference between...
I think it would be neat if they did this and saying... if they do this, that is bad, or if this direction is bad, there are a million ways to go about to do anything. It could be the most convincing and most genuine path to vampireness ever, and it is the only valid path because the author made it that way.
Yeah.
Authors have a lot of power.
Yeah, exactly. But and also, I'm trying to like not react to the fucking stupid humor because it's stupid, and I don't find it. The fact that I didn't laugh should indicate to you what I think about it.
What the show is telling you, and that's because Ko is more like a robot who doesn't understand emotions due to his stunted upbringing. So that, coupled with him being shy and not knowing how to interact with people properly, led to him putting up a false image of how he thought people acted, and that got him fake friends as he lived in an illusion on autopilot. But the second he had...
So that's what he... So wait a minute. So he's got the correct assessment now, but he had an incorrect assessment like 3 minutes ago. Well, maybe not 3 minutes ago, like 2 minutes ago. I have to remember that we're on like... He's on like fast forward time. So like a minute ago he was talking to... Like, because you literally just said all this, that he's, you know, living a fucking lie, or well, maybe not living a lie, but he's like, you know, however you put it, right? So now he's making your point. Now, even though he made a different point like a minute ago.
I feel this is a me thing I've noticed throughout the years of our video making. These word choices, and they're always deliberate word choices, because there's a script, and there's a recording, and there's a re-recording, and there's a, I didn't like how the way I said this, I'm going to re-record that part.
Unless you're certain individuals.
Yeah. He has a stunted growth. Does he have a stunted growth?
Has that actually been confirmed yet?
I don't think he has a stunted growth.
Because I remember we saw the flashback when he's at the park, like he came off like, oh, he's a loner, kind of, right? But that, I wouldn't say that's stunted growth. I'd just say like he's a bit of a loner. He was watching the ants, you know, and then the childhood friend comes up and is like, oh, do you want to play? And he's like, no, I'm content to just watch the ants, you know.
And then she joined watching the ants, so that's not even a bad. He did it with somebody else. That's not even a bad way to pass time at that.
Yeah, I don't think he like is stunted. Yeah, you'd have to qualitate that. There's no like I haven't had any indication that he's had stunted growth. At least there was like some throwaway line or something. I don't know.
No,
like,
I don't that I recall, but even then, stunted growth really just conjures up a completely different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would call Rudy from Mushoku Tensei very stunted.
Yeah.
Because he really does feel he has a million things wrong with his emotional growth. But this teenager guy just doesn't know who he is, and that is
very common for teenagers.
Yes.
Very common for teenagers in the developing age of their lives to not know what they want to do with the rest of their lives.
Or who they actually are.
Yeah, or who they want to be, you know? What kind of person do they want to be, you know? Like, it's very, very relatable, you know, issues going on, right? Like,
just to say, I'm not very kind at those terminologies. Ko is not stunted in his growth. He's very normal.
He's undergoing his growth right now, right? And that's kind of easy for us, like old men to fucking us old geezers now who have gone through our teen years, right, to look back and realize this, right? But like he is undergoing that growth right now. Like,
Go is the most normal boy you'll ever see.
Yeah, exactly. But so I don't know how Mr. Anituber here's growth was, but let's see what else he's
to take the wheel to respond to the confession, his programming malfunctioned and he showed his true self, thus leading to the faux people around him to reject him, leaving him with feelings of confusion and causing him to recede back to how he was as a child as he locked himself away, never returning to school as a result. When he finally started coming out of his shell and doing something he wanted, like going out.
Because he didn't show who he really was, he just kind of failed. He had, like the opening said, he had a blackout. I mean, the opening song really is a quick story of how he got where he is. He was under the apple tree. He tried crossing the line. He had a blackout. Oh, she's angry. And then he was chased to this unfortunate dimension where he met the vampire.
Right.
If you know the opening, right?
Yeah, I do know the opening. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that is what happened at school on that day and that night when he met the vampire.
All right.
He met Nazuna, and it all spiraled from there as she encouraged him to keep meeting her and to keep doing what he wants to. As a result, he opens up a bit and is able to reconnect with his childhood friend in his own awkward way as they just sit on a bench together like a couple of losers. Yo, he just like me, for real. He only thinks that he wants to be alone because it hurts him to see others in relationships, same, but he's not sure why, so it leads him to thinking that being alone is less painful.
Is he?
I don't know. His interpretation is very weird.
Doesn't he want... I have never seen him not wanting others to see in relationships.
I don't recall what he said in the scene where he's talking, like, when they're having the flashback. I recall that he said, like, he was fine, you know, playing with everyone in his own way or something, because what I recall from the subtitles, like, he was, you know, enjoying himself in his own way. I don't recall him ever as being like because he's Anituber boy here is implying like jealousy, right? Like he's implying like some kind of he was jealous, but he didn't understand what that jealousy meant, or he didn't understand that it was jealousy, and that's led him down this path. But I have no idea what he's talking about.
No,
at all. I have not gotten that impression at all from the show, but it's one of those things in this case where it's like I would have to go back and rewatch that section to like get what he means by that, or like because it's such a wild interpretation that I did not pick up on, and I actually am curious now to know if I'm wrong. Am I getting gaslit, Ellie? Like, what the fuck's going on? Did we watch the same show?
Yeah, you are gaslit.
I'm being gaslit, but anyway, that's
painful. Even though in reality he yearns for what others have, and he starts to realize that the more time he spends with Nazuna and grows a genuine bond with her, realizing that, unlike before, being alone has a point to it now, and that point is that it's only temporary as he searches for Nazuna to be together with her. Really, this anime is all about this kid's emotional journey into a man, both physically and mentally, and that makes sense because he's only 14. Which, seriously, why isn't the vampire 14? He's much like Hachiman from Snafu, but a younger alternative version who's yet to come to grips with not being able to find or formulate genuine relationships, but rather than becoming cynical as a result and ultimately finding those genuine relationships later on, he finds it much earlier because of Nazuna. So it's for this reason that it'd be much better if he experienced this fever dream, this call of the night, please don't kill me, and then actually didn't become a vampire, as Nazuna instead leaves him after forming a genuine relationship and imparting him with the knowledge and feeling of how to live, teaching him to not be so reserved and to enjoy life.
So right now he's just kind of like going through what he would like to see happen, even though he didn't like say that.
Yeah,
which is weird because he kind of like he transitioned from like this
is what the character is.
Yeah, he transitioned from this is what the character is into this is what I want the show to become. Right, without any indication that he's doing that. Yeah.
Well, he says more. This is what is going to happen. Nazuna is going to let him go.
He is going to do.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like he kind of like did. He went from like him going over his interpretation into predictions and astrology, right? Like, he went into that, and there was zero indication that he was going into that, right? Like, he just sort of naturally fucking pivot shift. Like, it took me a minute to notice it. That's why I had to pause it out, because I was like, wait a minute, weren't we just talking about like him going over the character, not like why are we now talking about like, oh, this is what I want the show to be, this is what I want the show to end up as, this is what I think the show is going for, you know? Like, he kind of just fucking whiplashed me there a little bit. I was like, wait, what?
This entire section kind of suffers from the I've watched 2 episodes and now I know the entire arc of this character for the next 50. Because he kind of astrologized. He read the cards. He drew the tarot cards, and he
looked at the stars, and he made his predictions based on the astrological signs of the characters.
Yes, and
15 degrees Aries or some shit. Fucking.
He's a Leo, you know.
He's a Leo. He's a Leo with a Venus value of 9 or some shit. I don't fucking know Australia.
I know even less. I didn't know they had values of Venus, whatever.
I'm just pulling shit out my ass. But like, yeah, it's
because this all based on that's the lightning bolt I described. It's more like more like a river now I see it. It really. I disagree with his interpretations, and that kind of just spoils the entire rest of it.
Yeah, it's like I feel like we watch different shows almost. Like I don't get the same interpretation.
I might agree more. Well, I would disagree regardless, having watched the 3rd episode. But I disagree.
You would disagree
less.
More. You would disagree less.
I disagree now more with more episodes. I maybe disagree less, but I still disagree because I don't. The path that he described, I don't think I saw at episodes 2 or 3.
Right. All right, well, let's keep going.
Same man, though, I wouldn't really mind it if he and Nazuna did become eternal vampires together because of the genuine bond that they share, as the only other character we've seen so far in Kaori is a bad and manipulative person, and how she doesn't care about Ko's feelings or why he stopped going to school. And rather than trying to give him a legitimate answer when he asks about the emotions that he's feeling, she essentially just tells him to suck it up and then selfishly asks him to come to school because that would make it easier for her. Because...
So this is the part that pissed Twitter off. This is what made this video go semi-viral. Was this section here where he talks about the childhood friend character and calls her a manipulative bitch. So, Ali, do you think the childhood friend is a manipulative bitch?
I think she's a soulmate, as in she goes through the same things and she feels the same struggles that Ko feels, and she wants him with her together because they're kindred spirits.
Agreed. I also believe that she does have his best interests in heart, and she is not encouraging him to like go to school out of some selfish like oh, it would make me feel better if you came to school, you know? Like, maybe she's... Maybe in the sense of her doing that because she thinks that would actually get him to come back to her, right? Maybe.
Because it would be more... Because they're friends, and it would be nice to have my friend around.
And up until, like, she comes in, main character boy... like, had completely memory hold her existence. Like, she didn't fucking exist until episode 3. Like, she just kind of shows up out of nowhere and blindsides both the main character and the viewer, right? And then you find out, oh no, she's been there since she's the childhood friend archetype. She, like, I suppose she seems to care about the main character. She seems to relate to the main character's struggle. She seems to want the best for the main character. She wants him to come back to school, you know, because that is the typical kind of, I care about you. I want you to do well. Maybe we'll bang okay later. That's the typical kind of like.
14-year-olds do.
Yeah, we'll bang later or whatever. But that's like the typical fucking archetype is what I'm getting at, right? Like that's like the typical story here usually, right? And I get the feeling that that's why this character exists is because it's like the contrast, right, between her and the vampire, right? It is, you have like, if this was a normal romance story, this character would have been the one that is, trying to, would be the one, the pivot point, right? To be like, okay, so you have this character, like, let's remove the vampire stuff, right? Let's just remove that from the show. And what do we have? We have, he's going out at night. He's not going to school. He's walking. He's doing night walking and going out and doing all of this stuff. And he's not like being responsible with his life and whatnot. And then you have this character, which is the, antithesis of that, coming in and trying to, it's kind of like, welcome to the NHK in a sense, right? Where you have like the character that's trying to help the guy, right? If I remember NHK correctly.
Yeah,
right?
and
like you have, it's similar to that, where you have like that type of character. That's what this is. That's what she is. She is that. She is not like a manipulative bitch, right?
Well, this is interesting because all right, in this sense, Nazuna, Akira, Ko represent things, and she represents normal life, and she also represents kind of the status quo at this point. And if you want to, you can put on this manipulative angle of the real world, stay fake, stay fake,
come back to school, put the mask on.
Put the mask on, become one with society and all that stuff. You can put all those negative qualifiers onto Akira here and say Nazuna represents freedom to be who you truly are and all that stuff. You can also say Nazuna is a path to self-gratifying, hedonistic, do nothing, drunk on the streets, and broke homelessness, and Akira is a path to productive and fulfilling lives.
With job, wife, kids.
Yeah, so Akira and Nazuna represent things when you put these two characters next to each other. And I feel, my opinion is that he sees Akira and puts all the stay fake and puts it as part of her motivation instead of what she represents.
Yeah. Because I think as a character, I don't think because here's the thing, right? We've only because I've only seen her in one episode, right? I don't know enough about her and her motivations as a character to be able to say, oh yeah, she's trying to manipulate him or whatever, right? Like there's no indication that the character herself is being that way. And I think that's why people are getting so pissed at this guy, right? Is because there's no, like, when you look at the character at face value as a character rather than all of the stuff I just talked about and we just talked about with the representations, there's no indication that her motivation is like it's a best of intent motivation rather than a manipulative, I want to harm this person, like,
so in my opinion that this is a proper drama series. Akira could totally have this complete, this great depression inside her, and she desperately wants to cling on to Ko as a means to deal with this depression, and that makes it a kind of a manipulation that she's using him for her own propping up, and that would be a manipulation. But this guy is an anime only.
Yeah,
there's nothing that points to this direction. I mean, I made it up just now, and Naretsu, you agree with me always, right? this is a path that the manga could go in.
I always agree with you, Ellie. We've never disagreed on the show, ever. We've never gotten into heated discussions and arguments about things, have we? We've never had that happen. I am just your poor little yes man, constantly reaffirming your shitty anime opinions constantly.
Indeed, Naretsu, and you agree right now, right, that this is a completely valid path of the manga.
I've got no idea what happens, right? I'm again same as this guy, anime only. I'm just going off what I've seen, and I think most people that are mad are going off what they've seen. I mean, I'm not mad about this. I just think it's fucking stupid. I think it's stupid to make these kinds of like accusations.
A little bit silly.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly. I just think it's a little bit silly to be making these kinds of like definitive factoid statements like this when you do not have the rest of the context, right? Because again, as you said, Ali, if later down the line it turns out, her motivation is she's depressed and she's trying to cling on to this main character because she's he's like her only like friend or whatever, and she wants to like not lose that, and so there is like a selfish component to it. Then it's kind of like, yeah, all right, maybe she is being a little bit manipulative, right? Like, yeah, but as it stands right now in the show, in the context, it does not come off like that at all. So to have him kind of go off like this, like in a dismissive and insulting manner towards the character, yeah, I can see why people were fucking mad. Like, people were really pissed about this on Twitter, and we're just shitting on this guy ruthlessly.
All right, Naretsu. All I heard is that you agreed with me once again.
Once again, I have agreed with Ali. My mission here is complete. I can now leave the cast. But anyway, let's finish this up and see what he has to say.
You know, she's a cunt. She doesn't want a genuine...
Oh, hey! That is my word. You are not allowed to use that word, you dumb American. Don't you? No. Bad. That is my word. I don't actually know if he's American or not. Maybe he is actually Australian. I don't fucking... or Kiwi. I don't know. But no, that is my word. It's bad. I'm offended.
When friend like Ko does, she just wants a hot piece of meat to look at and make her feel comfortable and doesn't really care about the meat's feelings, despite not knowing that...
God, it gets worse the more... Ellie, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Because now he's adding like a sexual component to it. Like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from? Like, what?
I would say, if I want to make Akira look negative, I'd say she just clings on to Ko as a thing that gets her
emotional
through the
support.
day.
Emotional support.
She wants to get through the day, and if Ko suffers, that's a sacrifice she's willing to take. That is an opinion that I can stomach, but that she wants something to a piece of meat to look at, and while not caring about his feelings, that's not.
It's a bit extreme. Like, I think you could have this interpretation, and like you said, you could validate it a little bit. But he's just taking it to such a fucking extreme level. Like, he's going on about how she wants him for his body now or something. This is like, there is zero indication of this in the show at all.
And I say depression because there's a lengthy scene where she's kind of blandly going through the day. Blandly waking up or blandly going home, taking a bath, looking.
It's like I said, she's after emotion. She's after emotional support, right? Like she wants a rock to like help her out, right?
And that's why I said it. That's why I can stomach the opinion that she doesn't care about Ko's feelings. She just wants something to hang on up to.
Well, maybe not necessarily that she doesn't care, but maybe more that like her feelings supersede his.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's what I said.
She does. Yeah, she does. Well, she does care, I guess, but it's like she's being like, it's overridden, right? Like I wouldn't necessarily say that she doesn't care. Sacrifice that she's willing to make. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I said earlier. But we were repeating, or I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, we're kind of going in circles. Yeah, but like I'm just like the God, what is he gonna say next? Right? What is he gonna say next? Let's see.
Seeking a genuine bond, Ko is fortunately smart enough to blow her off for Nazuna, and the camera is smart enough to be horny as fuck, because god damn, it's really trying to look up that lolly skirt. As he knows that.
See? He's making the reverse joke.
God damn it, you were right. This episode is going to be Ellie is always right. But god damn it.
I mean, I don't have to title it. It's just true. It's self-evident.
It's true. Okay. All right. I'll admit that you were right on that. Well, maybe not, but it's like, because I don't know if that was a pro or anti-lolly statement,
well,
but I think you are correct that he's just grasping at whatever the fuck he thinks is fun.
What he has with everyone but Nazuna isn't it. He's an outcast who doesn't fit in because he doesn't know how to, and no one other than Nazuna has really reached out to him. And this is even excellently shown in the first episode with the background shots and how they're framed and feel painted, making it feel as if he's just walking on top of them and not really meshing well with them at all. Which is just subtle.
No, that is backgrounds making and having an actual anime character.
But also, the music is too loud. His mixing is very bad here because his voice is lower than the music.
I mean, every single anime background and a cel-drawn character. There's not as soon as the thing moves, it's going to be cell animation and be.
Yeah, I don't really particularly see what. Like, how this is different than anything else, yeah.
Mushoku Tensei, right? Good show, good characters, good art.
Yeah.
The background and the characters look different. When the plate is picked up, it's suddenly high contrast, low detail, and when it's back on the shelf, it's suddenly high detail and completely flat.
Yeah. But anyway, let's keep going.
Symbolism for how he doesn't fit in. So really, this anime can be rather deep if you're willing to dive down the hole, and it all starts and ends with what seems like just another bland main character on the surface, but if you analyze him enough, you realize you have another Snafu or Monogatari on your hands in terms of deep character studies. And even if this isn't as good as those two shows, because those moments are few and far between as the vibe takes priority, it's still really good when they do happen, and it gets you...
I don't know what he wants.
Yeah, I don't know what he wants either. Like, does he want like? Because I mean, the other shows he mentioned have vibes, don't they? Like,
Monogatari is half of the vibe because half of the episode is blank, single color, filling color red or something.
Text on screen, much texto. Yeah.
But also,
I don't know.
This is one of the Koyomi from Bakemonogatari doesn't have really a deep character study. He has no... I mean, at the end, there's a little bit of self-reflection. But like the entire the first 3 seasons or something, right? It's just him going around solving mysteries.
Yeah.
Helping other characters' traumas.
Yeah, so, I don't know what this guy is on about or what he wants. I'm fucking like, yeah. Let's we're almost there. We're 30 seconds away. Let's cap it off.
Thinking about the characters while the casuals can sit back and enjoy the pretty colors, ambiance, and music, because let's be honest, this is really just one big music video for Creepynuts anyways, considering their songs play every single episode. It's definitely a slow burn, but it's likely to be one of my favorite anime of the season by the time it ends. And even if it isn't, I'll still welcome the call of the night. If you want to see an even better anime, then click this video here, or click here to throw money at it.
You can pause because it's...
so it's done. See, that was alright because he got that over with very quickly. He was like, yep, done. There you go. It was fine. I didn't have to pause it because he was just, yep, there you go. Alright, so I would say the video is bad, right? Obviously, right? The question is like, this is like pretty standard AniTube is the problem, right? Like it's bad, but this is like the most generic kind of bad AniTube video I think I've seen in a while, right?
I do think
it has a lot of the problems that we've encountered over the years. It has a lot of the same like writing issues. His editing was a bit too quick. You needed to linger a bit. That's interesting because the beginning it was kind of too quick, but then he kind of like fixed that later on. Like as the video progressed, it started to get a little bit better, and I'm wondering if that's deliberate to keep people engaged at the start. And so that they watch the whole video.
I think it's kind of it's very tedious to have so many quick cuts all the time.
Probably. Yeah.
Also,
probably.
I was kind of got kind of annoyed after just repeating the same 3 scenes. Like the scene where Nazna is grabbing on Ko with her pinky finger with that super almost 360 camera fisheye lens of the city curving up all the way to both upper corners of the screen.
Yeah, he reused the same shots quite a bit, which is more jarring when it's like a 7-minute video versus a 30-minute video, because it's like, you should probably have some more stuff to... Because he had like entire episodes worth of fucking shit that he could put up, but I guess...
There could be more stuff that he could use. I do think... like you said, it does have many of the AniTube sins, like using terms to, this guy was the director of the Monogatari series, or he has stunted growth. Little phrases, little abbreviations and omissions that make for a quick video but cause a lot of confusion and, mental pausing backtracks. That's standard. Confusing animation for style, for directing, for composition.
Yeah. And a lot of that comes down to not really knowing what they're talking about and needing to have better media literacy.
That animation on the rooftop, man.
So fluid. So fluid. So good.
Sakuga. I do think this was worse in the sense of this extrapolating of the characters. No.
Yeah, that was the big thing. And it's not just with it's not just with the example, obviously the one that made Twitter fucking lose their minds, right? It's the whole video is kind of that, where his extrapolations and his takes, I guess, on the characters, his interpretations are kind of really weird. And in some cases, you could see the argument as to how he got to that point, but it's still, like, in some ways conflicting with the source material and how that's been presented thus far.
Yeah, it kind of feels like he saw 1 and he saw 2, and he thought the next one would be 4, 8, 9, 16, instead of his being 1, 2, 3. The line from 1, 2, 3... When he saw 1, 2, and he thought the next one would be 4, but instead the next one was 3. And that kind of, and then that's my main problem. He saw characters and he thought that he knew the entire motivation and the entire next 10 volumes.
Yeah, he fortune-telled his way into a pitfall, basically. I feel like that's
by any chance, dyslexia has there's a dyslexia form in which you can read very quickly, but you just fill in half of what you didn't read.
Yeah, I believe that's a form of it. Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this video is kind of a version of that.
You want to call him autistic, is what you're saying?
Not dyslexic, right? Dyslexic at most.
Well, dyslexia is like part of the fucking umbrella terms or whatever, so it's fine. I think it is. It should be. I
don't think so, though. Anyway,
I'd have to look into it. But
anyway, I feel like it's a kind of a dyslexia, filling in the gaps that he thought he knew. Kind of a
I can agree with
subconscious
that,
filling
and
in.
I think that the only thing that I would add is, I feel like his interpretation of that one character that pissed everyone off, I can 100% understand why people were pissed off about that, because even though, as we went through, you could probably logic your way into that interpretation, the just how aggressive he was with it was very off-putting. And and I also guess I could comment on, I feel like he's trying to play up the whole fake perv, oh man, I'm so lewd, I fucking, I'm into the waifus or whatever, and it comes off as very forced, and I now, after like that one lolly joke, I kind of agree with you that I think it's him just trying to be funny and forcing the joke, right, to try and be funny.
Any joke.
And for me, that kind of humor just falls flat. I don't care about that at all. I think you need to have timing and comedic, reservativeness or whatever.
Restraint.
Restraint, yeah. So anyway, I guess that'll end this video. This has been Critical Critique, me and Ellie, once again. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Next video should be sooner because we actually have something maybe.
Maybe. Next video will be in, like, I don't know, 3 months.
Within the next 3 months.
Within the next 3 months, we'll get something out, maybe. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.